All right. All right.
All right, all right, all right.
All right. I think this is episode 25.
25?
Yeah.
You should have called me in 3 more because 28 is my number, but
Why is 28 your number? What makes 28 more special than the infinite amount of other numbers?
28, it's just like kind of sentimental to me, I guess. You know, it used to be my football number.
28 dicks in a row?
28 of them and counting.
So for those of you watching / listening, I just want to introduce you all to my good friend Justin Master Pasqua, aka DK, aka Drama Kid.
I'm using a new alias, Max E Mum.
Well, if you're gonna use a new
Maximum.
alias, then I could just use another one.
You could be Richard O'Shea, as in Ricochet.
Yeah, all right.
No?
I think people will just be
You
like,
don't look like an O'Shea.
oh yeah, Dick O'Shea over here, Dick O'Shea. like, it's
Sure.
like a ricochet of the dick.
So what's going on, man?
I don't know, man. I should be asking you that, dude. It's like I feel like I hardly ever see you.
Yeah, I'm a ghost, man. I'm just, you know what? I'm a 67-year-old man trapped in a 32-year-old body.
Yeah.
That's what it is, man. My fucking joints crack all the time. I don't got energy to do shit.
You're like no, that's fucked up, dude. I always figured you'd be like kind of
Middleman extraordinaire.
I always thought you'd be like a Mark Wahlberg type, you know, like.
It's never too late.
Yeah.
You never know, man. I can make it at fucking 33. I'm 32.
Yeah.
I can make it at 42.
Mark Wahlberg is like he's like a hot girl trapped in a hot guy's body.
I think I'm a hot girl trapped in a,
Yeah.
a mediocre guy's
No,
body.
in a hot guy's body,
I'm
of
getting
course.
fat now, man. It's the first time I weighed over 200 pounds.
Yeah, but you know, for guys, it's like it's a lot easier. Actually, no, wait, I don't know if it's easier or harder for us to lose weight. I think it's just like losing weight in specific places. I also know that as a guy, losing gut weight is the hardest fat to lose.
Man, I got weight, not for the both of us.
Well, I've been losing a lot of weight, but like what I've been doing was fucking insane. I don't recommend it to anyone. I've been eating less than 1,000 calories a day, and when I do eat, I never eat like sugars or anything. I always eat like chicken over rice, or you know, like sometimes just like mixed vegetables and like light meat chicken over white rice from the Chinese place. And I only did it for purely like, you know, vanity reasons. Like I was just tired of having a gut. Like I was like, I'm not a fat dude, so why do I have this fucking fat gut? So I tried to lose it, and it was like really hard. So I looked into it, and I you know, I learned that your stomach fat is the hardest fat to lose because that's where the body just stores like most of the excess, you know, your energy into fat. And it's a specific kind of fat that like it gets burned the last. It's like your body's emergency reserves. So it's not until like you really like put your body into like kind of like an emergency state where it's like, all right, now we have to dip into the reserves. And that's hard to do. Especially it's hard to do in a healthy way because, you know, obviously it takes a lot of cutting down on calories, and if you cut down on calories, you take in less nutrients, and if you take in less nutrients, you're gonna feel stuff like fatigue.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're gonna feel
All
irritable.
this talking about the stomach fat, I'm just thinking about this girl who I worked with. She had a fucking phenomenal butt, right?
Yeah.
Her ass was like 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Then she's like one of these girls goes to, you know, like Mexico or Miami and like gets her butt did. Which
Gets
she
her
didn't
butt
need to do. What they do is they cut the fat from your stomach and then
Yeah.
they add it to your ass, which is just like absolutely insane to me. But like, I don't know, man, to each his own. I just know this other girl, she's like a cute little fucking little Russian girl.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, her titties weren't like the greatest. She got a boob job, went down to Miami, got a boob job, and now like her titties all fucked up. Like her nipples like under her armpit and shit. You know, like I don't know. It's all just like crazy. I don't know what's going on with these girls and their self-esteem, man. Like you don't see guys going like getting dick surgery to get like bigger dicks.
Yo,
like,
guys do the same shit
man,
though.
you know what? Actually, remember? So background, we actually went to the same middle school. Mr. Masaccio.
Yeah.
You remember him?
Yeah.
That dude had muscle implants.
The whole time we were there?
Yeah, man. He
Oh.
had muscle implants.
So he was cheating.
Yeah.
He wasn't even a gym teacher, right? He was
No,
just
he was like fucking biology or
Yeah.
like he was some sort of science teacher.
because a real gym teacher would be like, I'm not getting fucking muscle implants. I
Getting
work out.
jacked, bro.
I play sports, man. I stay
Fuck
fit.
that.
No, Mr. Musacchio is honestly was that guy. He was that teacher. If I look at all the teachers of that school at that year, knowing like zero about them, and then they just lined them up in front of me and asked me, which one of these do you think is the most likely to like molest their students or like sexually assault a student or a minor?
Oh
and
my
I would
God.
pick out Mr. Musacchio.
You think it would be him? Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
What's the wood shop teacher's name?
Mr. Cangeloso?
Yeah, he's a beast, bro.
He wouldn't do that.
No,
shit.
he would never do that. But I'm just saying, he's just a fucking beast. That was like my favorite.
Oh
teacher
yeah,
in the
he
whole
was
place.
he was a stand-up
No
guy.
snack shack. All that was fucking funny as hell.
Mr. Cangeloso was what you call a real mensch. He was a real man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. He was bald by like fucking 28 probably. He
Yeah.
started losing his hair.
Yeah, that was a good fucking class. I made some good shit in that class.
I still have my clock.
Yeah.
You have nothing from that
don't-
class.
I lost the clock, the napkin holder, the folding stool.
I fucking got into a slap boxing match with the like one day, you know, kid shit. We're in the yard, we're just slap boxing each
Against
other.
who?
Danny something. He was like
Oh.
the blonde head kid. Was friends with Cahill and like all them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like we're just fucking around. It's during lunch, and I have my napkin holder in my hand. You remember how it was? It was a plank of wood with two pegs coming out of it, right? So it's in my right hand, and I'm holding it, and the peg is just like I'm holding it by the peg. So he goes to like swing on my right side, and I go to block it with my elbow, and he slaps it right into my eye. And like my eye just starts gushing blood. And it's like had to go to the doctor. Had to wear like a patch for like 3 days.
Dumb shit.
Yeah, it was just stupid, man. But I really wish I had the napkin holder, because if this becomes famous, I would have sold my bloodstained napkin holder for millions and millions.
This is the real napkin holder that almost took out Justin Master Pasqua's eye.
I would have looked like Big Boss, man.
No, I mean, all right. I do know this about you. Weren't you supposed to be an actor? You would have done good. You would have done good in that industry.
Yeah,
yo.
maybe. Hey, I mean, like I said, it's never too late to start. Samuel Jackson's fucking homeless and made it at 40, you know. So like,
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you started at that age though, you would have been like really fucked up. Like, you would have been successful to a fucked up degree. Like, you would have been one of those fucking like.
you think I would have been Tom Holland, Spider-Man?
Nah, like
Nah.
like worse, like Charlie Sheen. Like, you would have been like Charlie Sheen, where you partied so hard,
You
got
fucking
so
right. You
famous.
fucking right, I would.
You would have just killed yourself. Or
You know what?
something.
Like maybe some people just aren't better off with money and success. You know, maybe the success could have been overwhelming. I could have killed myself. You know, I battle depression and shit every day. I'm sure everybody does, but you know,
Yeah, I feel that for sure.
you never know.
Yo, that shit's that would have been funny. You would have been like
But then I could have been the next RDJ also.
you would have been like fucking what's his name? Who's that British guy? He was in Mad Max. Fuck.
It's a lot of British guys.
I completely Tom Hardy. You would have been like Tom
Hardy,
Hardy.
yeah, Hardy's cool.
You would have been like Tom Hardy. You would have been like
You think I would have had posters of myself in like 13-year-old rooms, like for girls and shit?
yeah, you would have been like that.
I would've been like
you
a
would have been like the
heartthrob.
sexy ass himbo. Like
Yeah. now I just lost my jawline. That's all I got going for me right now.
oh man, that would have been so funny. You would have been like that ass that girls would be like, oh my god. And you would have been an Italian hero.
But
like
yeah, I mean maybe, but I can't use Master Pasqua as like that name does not sell.
I would just change it to Justin Masters or something.
Well, Mastra is half.
Justin Master. Yeah, Master sounds cool.
Mastra. That's
yeah.
it.
That's pretty cool. That's good. That's good. I like that. That's your stage name, yeah.
We'll see. We shall see.
Nah, and then you got to be really progressive and get married to another celebrity, but take her last name,
Take on money too. I gotta marry someone who's richer than me.
like Oprah.
Do what Tom Brady's doing right now. He's on to something.
yeah.
Speaking of someone who's on to something, it's not Kanye West.
Oh my God, fucking Kanye West. I love him.
I
He's-
was waiting to drop this on you.
Bro, I love that man. I love him so much. Cause like, look,
He's sick. He's a sick person.
but he's, you know what? Nothing he really said. All right, nothing he said was completely devoid of rationality and reason. I mean, a lot of people like to put it that way. A lot of people like to sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, you know, he's just fucking crazy. He doesn't know what he's fucking talking about." But there is like at least a kernel of truth to every fucking retarded thing he's ever said. Like this whole shit now with this. I'm going.
George Floyd dying of fent. That's come on, bro. Like that's a stretch.
I mean, look, nobody can really know. That could easily be the case. I don't think it was the case.
He could have been high on fent, but he
yeah, exactly.
died to
getting
a
a fucking knee to the neck. Yeah, that's how he actually died. But I think like, you know, the stuff he said about like First of all, the George Floyd thing was nothing he said would really like, I don't know, like he never said the officer was in the right. He never said that I support that cop. He never said that. You know, he never took sides with the wrong people. All he said was like, you know, he should take the victim. He was victim blaming more than anything. That's what he was doing. He was victim blaming, which is you know, generally seen as a shitty thing to do in a situation. But, you know, what he said with like the Jews and everything.
The anti-Semitic shit, yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, like the way he said it came off really anti-Semitic, but it's interesting though, you know, like the fallout from it. Like
you're saying there's truth behind what he said.
I mean, okay, I couldn't say that there's quote unquote truth to what he said because he didn't expose anything. He didn't say anything like meaningful. He didn't say anything informative. He didn't tell us anything new. All he said was, "I'm going DEFCON 3 on these Jews." That's exactly what he said, which it just sounds like really fucking stupid. Yeah, so that's really all he said. But I think what he was kind of alluding to was how like, how should I put this? Like, okay, you look at any given industry. Let's use the entertainment industry, for example. And I want you to like try and maybe one day like look up like how many of these like conglomerates and corporations are owned by a majority of a specific religious group. And I want you to tell me what religious group that is. And it's really plain to see, right? So that's just one example. I'm not going to go into other examples, like other industries or bodies of government even, but like that's one example where you could say one religious group has a lot of centralized power over a specific industry, right? Now, suppose that were true in like a lot of other industries, right? So then you would say that was true for like a given, like the whole global economy, and he who controls the economy controls the world. Now, I want to like ask you another question. It's like, would you really want a leader who's religious? I personally never would. I would never, ever want to be led by a person who's actually religious. I mean, there's plenty of leaders who are religious and they lead to success. But if I had a preference, I would prefer my leaders to not be religious. Why? It's because when you're religious, you're beholden to your God before anyone else. Like, that's what you're basically saying. You're like, us as flawed human beings.
I got what you're saying. So you're saying like,
I don't want
the president would put God before the people.
Exactly. I want a leader who's going to put even the people
first,
before
the country first,
even before God. You know, like that's what I would prefer. So it's like that's why it's a scary thought. It could be Jews, it could be Catholics, it could be Christians.
You want an atheist president?
Secular. The word is secular. Secular meaning like where you prioritize like material factors over like religious ideology, for example. You know. Over intangible things like, you know, dogma and the meaning of life. Whereas, you know, a more secular-minded government would be more concerned with, like, do our people have health care? Do we have enough food for everybody? Is everyone getting shelter at the end of the night? You know, like, that's more secular thinking, which is actually, I don't know, that's unfair to say. That might be grossly misinterpreting both, but, you know, that's just the way I see it. So it's like, you know, people don't fucking see this and, like, just think I'm completely retarded. Like, I know, you know, I know when I could potentially be wrong, but it's the way I see it. And like, yeah, so when it comes to like a governing body, you would hope that they're more secular than not, so that they would like know at least to prioritize the people they're governing over fulfilling some religious decree, in my opinion. So how do you like these pre-rolled joints?
We're live, right? I'm gonna expose Sand Lane.
That's the deli I go to for weed, all right?
Hey, man, I'm exposing them. I'm exposing a lot of these delis. There's places on Island.
Yo, you want to hear something hilarious?
What's up?
I don't mean to cut you off. Hold that thought. We're going to circle back to that because it's relative. So I listened to this other podcast, right? It's a comedy podcast. They're all stand-up comedians, and it's funny. And one of the guys in the podcast, he's like the punching bag. Like everyone fucking shits on him. The fans shit on him. The co-hosts shit on him. Everyone shits on him. So he was once complaining about this bad experience he had at this cafe. And he always goes to this cafe. So he was really just bitching. And it's a black-owned cafe, right? It's a black-owned business in Brooklyn. So he starts complaining about it, right? And like the fans of this podcast like really like to troll. So like they went on the Yelp and they all started giving like really bad Yelp reviews to this one cafe. They're like, I went in there with my gay boyfriend and they used his full name. He's like, and yeah, and they made it sound really bad. Like fucking it got to the point where he got banned. He got banned from his favorite cafe because he talked shit about it. So just keep that in mind.
All right, I get what you're saying. So you're saying not to talk shit about Sand Lane. Anyway, a lot of these places got fake product. It's really hard to find a place that has real. What I know is there's a spot in Great Hills. Most of these places get shit off the black market anyway, or like backdoor from like Jeter. So what we're smoking right now is called the Baby Jeter.
Not an adult Jeter. We can't handle an adult Jeter. We got to smoke the Baby Jeters.
Well, the Baby Jeters are 0.5 joints, and they're covered with keef, and they're infused with diamonds.
They're
THC diamonds.
It's a one-person affair, basically.
No, you two people. Like when I first started smoking these, if you don't have a tolerance for them, one person you're gonna get fucking ripped. Two people is gonna feel nice. 3 people will never happen. You know what I'm saying? Like a third person on this can't like get high at all. So.
Aw.
You know what I'm saying? Unless like you straight have no tolerance. Like me, I like smoke fucking like a chimney. Lately, I've been slowing down, but
yo, me too. And I was actually talking about this recently. I was saying like, dude, I don't even know if I get high anymore. Like I was straight up telling him, I was like,
dude, weed isn't the same it was like 10, 15 years ago. There's no weed. Like even I get something that has like a nice nose on it, and it doesn't smoke good. Like even these, like I have a high tolerance, so like if I just smoke like grams of wax. Like dabs of wax, not grams. That's a little dabs of wax at this point will get me high, but even so, like if you build a tolerance to that shit, man, you're gonna be fucking taking glob and like nothing's gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean,
right now these are the only things, Baby Jeters. I'm gonna pull them up for the camera. So what we're smoking right now is a fake one, but these are the real ones. See if they can get that. Buy them black market. You know, I'm not gonna say where or who, but you know. Backdoor. Everybody's got a guy. Everybody knows a guy who knows a guy, right?
Yes.
So, picture me as the guy who knows everybody.
The plug.
No, I'm not the plug. I'm the middle guy.
You're like the power strip.
I know a guy who knows a guy.
It's so Italian, man.
Anyway, so a lot of these delis were smoking a fake Jeter, which is this one. I'm gonna show your fans, the people.
All 34 people on YouTube.
Howdy, bitch. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick this up, but we'll find out.
You could try. Yeah, no, it's picking it up.
Good. You can tell the pink one is the real one. These don't usually have like a knot at the top. They're usually like cut and pressed down. These look kind of like the blue one looks like a twist top.
I'm smoking the shit out of the blue one right now.
I'm smoking the blue one right now because I only have one real one left. I gotta go buy more. I gotta meet my guy who knows a guy. You know. Anyway,
everyone knows a guy.
Look how the color of the keef is different. I mean, when we smoke this real one, you will know. Because, like, these aren't, like, really, like, killing my throat right now.
Yeah.
But the real ones, they fucking hurt, dude.
Man.
Jeter makes a whole bunch of products. They make oil. They make pre-rolls. They make the baby pre-rolls. They make 1 gram pre-rolls, 2 gram pre-rolls. And they made, like, 70 of a 7 gram pre-roll when the Warriors won the NBA Finals.
I forgot to tell you. Do you know where Brendan works these days?
No.
He works like by Travis and Victory. There's this place right next to Mother Moose. It's called like BZB's Wax, right?
Yeah.
They used to sell like homemade honey and shit, like a lot of it, and deliver it. Mm-hmm. So they got into like THC products, CBD products. So Brendan works there. He like spends all day, every day making like edibles. Like I'm talking by the wholesale. Like he'll like make the whole sheet and then use the cutter to like put like chop them into bits of gummies.
So wait, he works for a CBD company, basically?
No, like he works for like basically a manufacturing plant for like cannabinoid treats, cannabinoid infused products, like fucking not flour, but like, you know, weed candies and gummies.
Yeah.
So he gave me the other day, like I always do this with edibles. Like he gave me like just, you know, a bunch of gummies for free. Right. And, you know, as soon as I was driving him, I picked him up from work. He was like, "Oh, dude, here, I got some gummies for you." Because, you know, he just...
Any name brand or just like...
Well, he makes them. So it's like he just...
Well, I'm saying like a popular one is like Rocket Gummy. People like Rocket Gummies. People like the Punch Bar Gummies and Punch Bar chocolates in general. So is like a name brand like that, or is it just like a no-name gummy? Is like what I'm saying. Because I've made no-name gummies before. I used to deal with this guy. He usually what he would do is go to Costco and buy like tons of just what is it? The sweet and sour candies, like the watermelon,
Yeah.
whatever it is, and then he would spray them with THC. And like I'm telling you, like he had like what looked like a concrete barrel in his apartment. Here, take this from me. He had like a concrete barrel, and it would just roll these candies in there. He just have like a spray bottle, and he's just spraying them with THC, and then he would sell them for like it would cost him like $2 to make these fucking things, right?
Yeah.
And he would sell them for like 20, 25, you know. Like the cost of like weed is so cheap, and that's probably why you can't get good weed nowadays. It's just like it's not what it was. Like remember New York sours fucking 10 years ago?
Sour diesel.
Remember
that shit was
train
retarded.
wreck
That
10
shit
years
was
ago,
retarded.
man.
Is that wait? Is it? I always
I
thought
don't even hear about those.
I always thought my tolerance was higher. I didn't know the weed. I thought the weed was just as strong
yeah,
as it
man,
was.
I think it's just getting weaker
Those-
because it's more available.
That
you know?
sour diesel shit was off the chain, if I remember correctly.
Sour D back
And
in
you know
the
what? It smelled differently. Like weed, like haze, the piff started smelling a lot more like Arizona green tea than like pure stinkiness of like when I was 14
Yeah.
and that weed was like bright orange, frosty as fuck. You couldn't even keep that shit in class.
No, you couldn't.
Because it was bagged up and it stunk up the whole thing. I don't think
Stunk up
weed
the whole class.
I don't think weed smells like that, like to that bad anymore.
No.
You know, it used to smell so much worse.
Remember you used to like triple like Ziploc it,
You
throw it
had
in your
to,
book
yeah,
bag,
yeah.
you know. Like,
Nowadays, like it
put
doesn't.
t-shirts over, wrapping a t-shirt and everything. Like it's crazy.
It doesn't do that anymore. I don't think.
No, no.
I think some weed kind of still like smells bad, but
I
like
think it's because like, in my opinion, the government finally found that they can make money on weed.
yeah,
So they're gonna just mass produce it, and whatever they comes out just comes out at this point, and people are gonna just buy it.
yeah,
And now look how convenient it is. Like you said, we just went to a deli and bought weed.
yeah.
You know, 10 years ago that was unheard of. Well, not really unheard of, but you know, now it's they're popping up everywhere.
10 years. Try like 20 years. Like, remember 20 years ago? That's when I first started. It's almost 20 years when I first started smoking. It was more like 17 years when I was 14 years old, basically.
I just don't know when like all these Middle Easterns just like came over and just took over the weed business out of nowhere. Usually you got to go to like mob guys and like cartel guys and shit. And now it's just like you just go in the deli, like then they're just buying up property everywhere.
Yeah, because they could grow it in the country now too.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people grow in the country. It's
Oh,
a
you mean
lot.
the United States?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that I knew. I thought you meant in like India and like in the Middle East.
No, I mean, why? First of all, if you're selling weed in America, why not just grow it in America? You would cut
No,
down
yeah,
the
of course.
overhead so much.
Everybody's growing weed.
Yeah,
Dude, we can go like 20 minutes from where we are right now and go to like a weed farm on Staten Island.
it's actually kind of a gold rush. I think it's a veritable gold rush at this point.
Mhm.
Like all the people, especially a city like New York alone, a lot of people are just dumping their investments into selling weed because everybody smokes weed. Everybody loves this shit.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Life is fucking stressful. I mean, like, shit is getting worse.
Yeah.
In 10 years, like, shit is going to be so fucking bad. Nobody's going to have fucking jobs. Like, watch. Trust me, man.
Yeah. I agree. I don't doubt it.
Even if we even make it fucking 10 years, the cost of living is going to be through the roof, but nobody's going to be able to afford it.
100%.
We're already there, you know, but imagine it's not going to get any fucking better. Trust me.
Yo, I say that all the time. It's like, yo, you know that meme? It's like, listen, friend, I know the world seems like a scary place right now, but it's going to get way worse. You know, like
Hell yeah, it is. It only gets worse. But, you know,
that's why you got to
just find what you love in life and just let it kill you. Because you're going to die anyway. So
Oh, I love that. That's a good.
that's it. That's what you got to do in life.
It's a good set of words right there, my friend. I'll cheers to
Cheers
that.
to that.
Oh man. I mean, that is what I do. I do
Because,
just,
you know, like, I've lived for other people for a really long time. And, like,
and you can't just live for yourself either, because that leads to depression. You got to live for something that you think is bigger than yourself.
I've been so selfless for a long time, I feel like. And now I want to be selfish, but
There's no such thing as being selfless.
I don't want to be alone either, you know? Like,
You know, honestly, there's like a way to look at being quote unquote selfless is kind of still being selfish.
Okay.
Like it is kind of selfish to like not, because taking care of yourself is hard. Looking after yourself is hard. It's a lot easier to neglect yourself, to take
Yeah.
away that responsibility and just put that responsibility on
it's
other
so much
people.
easier to just quit.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm too busy taking care of someone else in my life than to give a fuck about what I want. Because what I want, like taking care of yourself is really hard to do responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do too much of it. A lot of people do very little of it. So it's I think it's a convenient excuse to use other people, like, you know, altruism, which is not real. You know, it's ultimately selfish. But yeah, shit like that. Like you can't just live for other people. It doesn't work that way. That's ultimately being selfish and ultimately taking away from the world. And you know, because you have to cultivate yourself and your own talents and your own gifts and your own instincts, so that to really contribute in a meaningful way instead of just picking up after other people. I mean, you could do that too, and that's, you know, responsible to help other people pick up after themselves, you know. But ultimately, you have to also evolve as a person. Otherwise, the world will just evolve past you.
What's your cat's name?
My cat's name is Mochi.
Yo, what's up, Mochi?
I didn't name him.
Don't scare. I'm not scaredy, dude. You can chill with me. Can I pet your ear? Can I pet your ear? Can I get your butt? No.
Yo, my cat is so clingy.
Clingy?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, most cats are. But you know.
I love that little guy though.
What's his name one more time? I'm very bad with names.
Mochi.
Mochi. I'll remember that. I'll
Yeah.
try my best.
It's okay. You can just call him Cat or the cat. Refer to him
El
as
Gato.
the cat, the gato, le gato.
My mom literally had a cat named the Gato. You're the worst. Just call me human, you know. Like.
It's pretty chill. Speaking of which, no, actually, this isn't speaking of which at all. It's
Off topic.
completely off topic. You know what I realized? This has been a bad year for video games.
Yeah, you know what? My PlayStation 5,
Yeah.
I got it the first day.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
sure.
Fast forward to today.
Yeah.
It is now just a Netflix machine. That is it.
Well, I am PC Gamer Master Race, and I've just been having a blast. But honestly, like I say, it's a bad year for games because I've had to try really hard to find good games. Like I've had to really dig.
God of War's coming out next month. Apparently, it's a.
I mean, but I'm not that hyped about God of War. I'm like,
Okay.
that's cool, I guess, but it doesn't do it for me, you know?
I hear a lot of like hardcore gamers think God of War is a bad game.
I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's very cinematic, especially what they're doing now. They broke their mold. They did a lot of impressive shit. I give them
Did
credit.
you play the last one?
Yeah, the God of War boy, Dad of Boy.
Dad of Boy, yeah.
Yeah, I played Dad of Boy.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it a lot, especially because, you know, I'm a fucking man. Like, I appreciate the masculinity aspect of relation between father and son and, you know, like, bringing your son up to a great destiny. I love that shit. It's really cool. It's really, and I like the way he is now, like reserved and like really haunted by his like former fucked up good deeds as a god, but the conscience of a man, you know, like I get it. I dig it all, but it's still, I'm not that excited about it. Like it's probably going to take me at least 2 years to play the next God of War, you know?
Yeah, 2 years. I mean, I already pre-ordered it. It's
Yeah.
coming out next month.
You know what? I have been getting back into playing like games I played like on the PS4, except now I get to play them on the PC, like, you know, Red Dead. I realized is so much better on PC. I realized Metal Gear Solid 5 so much better on the PC. Like it's
Never
really
played it.
sick. It's good shit.
Believe that? And I have a fucking Foxhound tattoo.
I think if you're serious about games, the PC is the best way to play. Like
In my younger years, I was definitely more interested in games. And just now, like, just don't have time for it.
yeah, for sure.
I did play the new Final Fantasy.
You liked it?
Yeah, hell yeah, I did.
7?
7, the remake.
Yeah, it's great, right?
Did you play the DLC?
yeah,
with
yeah.
Yuffie?
I only played part 1. I didn't play the second part.
Yeah, I'm still like kind of getting through Yuffie's. Like again, like I haven't been playing.
Yeah.
But that was the last game I played.
It's good shit, right? It's exactly
Good
what
shit.
it's exactly what that thing what that series deserved.
Chef's
want me
kiss.
to you want me to spoil what happens to you? Because
What, Yuffie story?
No, the whole what the remake is doing.
Oh, with the whole yeah, why not? Fuck it.
All right, so in the remake, apparently, you find out that in the remake, Aerith was aware of the original timeline where she dies. And for some reason, it shifts. So it's to a point where she doesn't die, but it also leads to like other unforeseen.
She's still gonna die.
You never know. You don't know because
Nah,
that's where it's ending.
She can't cheat death.
What?
That's my prediction. She can't cheat death. She's gonna avoid that spot with Sephiroth at the end of disc 1, but she's gonna die another way.
Yeah, maybe because like what's probably gonna happen is the whole world starts coming apart, and then they're like, "What do? We can't, you know."
You fought Sephiroth at the end of disc 1, at the end of the remake 1, and I wasn't too much of a big fan about that.
Yeah, it was good shit. But you know what? I think that they could, if they wanted to, they could just create the alternate timeline. You know, they could just really run with that and go as far as they possibly
They
can.
got Genova in that game, right?
Because, you know, consider this. What if instead of Aerith that dies, what if it's Tifa? You know, what if that's the consequence of keeping Aerith alive and it's Tifa that dies, and then they just accept that for the alternate timeline?
I would be upset.
But seriously, it would work. Like it makes
Tifa's my girl.
It makes sense. It's a worthy sacrifice.
Every time I was Cloud, I banged Tifa. When they give you the choice between Yuffie, Aerith, and what's his name? No, Barrett. Also, I think they also make you choose Barrett at one point.
Yeah.
Nah, it was always Tifa.
I would have chosen Barrett.
I know you would have.
Yeah.
Tifa.
Yeah, so I don't know. I see, like I said, what they did with it is really, really cool. I think that was a really genius idea. What else are you gonna do?
What else am I gonna do? I watched Dahmer. Did you watch Dahmer?
Nah, I would.
All right, so apparently Jeffrey Dahmer's dad is suing Netflix because they like glorified his kills and like made money off him. I guess he just wants a check. You know, cut the check.
Give him the check.
Cut the check.
Cut
man.
the check, man.
How much? You know, you gotta start high. You gotta be like, I want
10 million.
I was thinking 10 million.
Yeah, 10
So we're on the same wavelength because I was thinking 10 million. Yeah, 10 mil.
Drop it down to like 7 mil.
I'll accept 2.
Yeah.
But they don't know that.
Yeah.
But if they hit me with like, yo, 2.5 and that's it, we're walking away, or we'll see you in court, cut the check.
Yeah, cut the check.
Yeah, that's sick. That's
Fucking
cool.
Dahmer. I mean, it's stupid though because
I was laughing at half that shit. So, for those who know or who have watched it, that show is fucking boring until it's not. Like you're watching like 40 minutes of like him like just stalking someone, like living a regular life, and then like at the end he's eating some dude's heart, you know, and you're like, oh my god, he's like ripping a fucking 14-year-old to shreds, you know, and then you're like, oh my heart, you know. But oh, you can't take this. Yeah, there was times where I was like, I don't even know if I can like continue watching it because it was like so eerie at times. But then there's just times I'm just watching. It's like, yo, I just don't give a fuck. I could be doing anything.
yeah,
else.
but that's the thing about Dahmer. There's just way better shit like it than Dahmer.
Yeah, like the Ted Bundy shit was cool. You know, I don't know. I'm not really into serial killer shit. I'm not gonna pretend like I wasn't. But those are the 2 things I saw. Like I know they have Gacy out right now. I'm not gonna fucking watch it. I don't give a shit about a fat clown. I can go to work and my ex-friend was a fat clown. You know, I don't need to be chilling around or watching any more documentaries about fat clowns, you know.
Yeah, dude. It's actually weird how in America, not being fat was just a byproduct of not being rich. But now it's like not being fat is a byproduct of like.
You saw WALL-E.
Not being rich. What?
You saw the Disney movie WALL-E.
Yeah.
Bro, that's how America's gonna be. Like we're gonna be fucking fat
trying,
slobs. Like just like.
You know what's crazy?
Well, like. Majority of like America will be.
You know what I realized? Like people could flame me for this, argue with me all they want about this, but it's actually hard to not be fat. Like I'm trying to.
It takes discipline.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay not fat, and I can't believe how fucking hard it is. Like every time I go anywhere, it's like there's just everything that's total. Now that I'm more conscious about like caloric intake and all that shit, and the amount of sugar like we put in our bodies on average.
I'm totally oblivious to all that. You know?
Dude, now that I think about it, I'm blown away. I'm like, holy fuck! It's
I'm
like everything is just like pushing it and pushing it and pushing it on you, and we do it for clear reasons because we're already living excess. It would be just like a massive depreciation of resources if we just stopped eating this shit altogether. First of all, there's so many jobs that rely on producing excess, so it's up to the economy for us to consume excess and to keep working for excess. And the minute we start thinking more conservatively is when, too conservatively, I should say, is when the economy grinds to a halt. And like, that's why we're constantly like milk, for example. It's like, like got milk was like seemed so wholesome when I was a kid, but now I'm like, this is propaganda. Why are you forcing me to drink whole glasses of fucking milk? Like I don't need that much milk. Like,
you know what's a scary thought?
What?
In the future, so I think it's by like 2026. I could be wrong, but America will be driving nothing but electric cars.
Yeah.
Now, the reason for that is because the government can shut your car off at any fucking moment.
Yeah, why do you think I drive like primitive ass fucking manual? I'm like, that's my mentality. As I see the world,
the second they see you do something wrong, your car is done. They're gonna lock you in it while you're driving. They're gonna just kill switch your car.
It's like your radio shuts off. It's like, please renew your subscription to Google.
Oh my God.
To Google
Imagine
Drive.
you don't pay your car payment. They just shut your car off on the highway.
Yeah.
You're locked in there.
Yeah.
Cops coming for your ass.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah, that's why
keep all these fucking.
See, now,
that's why the price of used cars are going up.
This is what I tell everyone. First of all, like there's so many other benefits of driving manual. Okay, now listen. Yes, it's harder. Yes, there's a learning curve. But if you get it down, nobody could take it away from you. It's like riding a bike. And also, for example, it's cheaper to maintain. There's less moving parts, so maintaining it and repairing it is way cheaper. Second of all, knowing that skill lets you buy older cars and being able to drive it and fix it up for like, so that's already, you're saving like a lot more money. Third of all, it's also cooler. Like you could buy like you could buy old ass sports cars and fix it up and drive that shit.
Yeah.
Also, when you travel and let's say you're in another state and you rent a car, you could rent like a way nicer car for less money because no one really rents manual transmission cars, so they just have it. So they always offer it at a discounted rate. So yeah, learning manual is just very, very good. It's very, very useful. It just makes you a better driver, straight up. Like I honestly think it does. It's just, the thing is, like, now it's like so hard to like learn because like most of the time you're going to be taught on an automatic car. Most people who own cars are going to have an automatic car.
Okay.
It's because at some point like automatic cars just became built better. Because it used to be where manual cars were always better. It was always better.
Well, for the longest time, that's what like everybody just drove was manual,
and that's what everyone was taught was manual. But automatic cars got better with engineering, and like they were able to build that shit way more solidly. And yeah, that's why everyone drives automatic instead of standard. But you know what makes more sense? Like, remember like those old movies where they would have that stereotypical dad teaching his kid how to drive, and it would always be this ordeal. Like the car would keep stalling out, and then you watch that as a kid, you're like, why is it that hard to them? Like, I don't get it. But then you think about manual, like they were all taught on manual, so it's like, yeah, that's really difficult. Like teaching a fucking 14-year-old kid how to drive stick shift. Yeah, that's like
sick. I would love that.
You know what it is though? It's like teaching someone how to ride a motorcycle. Like that's the trick. The way these drivetrains work, it's about the clutch. Like when you drive an automatic, it takes the clutch out of the equation. It's all automated. But if you drive like stick or a motorcycle, there's a thing that turns, like there's the motor rotor that turns, like the pistons there's the motor's own movement, and then it has to match the clutch because the clutch also moves, and that's what engages with your own
Yeah,
you know what?
Totally oblivious to cars.
I don't even know exactly how it works. Cars are just one of those things. Like you don't have to know how it works, but you can know how to use it. But anyway,
there's a fan out there who knows, who's like in the comments section going ballistic right now. He's like, these guys don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Nah, it's fine. I'm sure because like they'll appreciate that I at least know that the clutch is kind of that thing that engages and disengages with something that travels. So when you press the pedal, this thing spins, right? So when you lift the clutch, when you push the clutch, yeah, the transmission when the transmission's spinning, while you have the clutch down, it's disengaged. So when you ease off the clutch, it starts connecting with the rest of the thing that makes the car move.
Somebody out there is sick right now. But someone is like throwing
no.
up. But they can't understand what's going on.
Fuck you.
They're so nuts right now. Yeah,
you're
I get
so
what you're
right
saying.
though. You're so right. But yeah, that's what the clutch is. But you know what? A motorcycle works the same way. Because like that's what the levers do. Like one of the levers on a motorcycle is the brake. The other level is the clutch.
Yeah.
The other lever is the clutch. So while you have to modulate between the clutch and the throttle, and one of the pedals is basically like your shifter. Except you use your feet instead to shift between the gears. So it's like, yeah, if you know how to drive a stick shift and know how to ride a bicycle, then you could probably figure out a motorcycle pretty easily. It's all about that clutch.
Maybe one day.
It's all about that clutch. I don't know. Maybe if I completely stop giving a shit about my car, like I'll teach you how to drive stick on it. It's just I like my car, so it's like
no, I'll just buy a fucking beater and then just learn myself fucked up transmission. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I'll figure it out one day. Or I won't.
Yo, could you do a video with me? Not like a porn video. No.
What kind of video?
Did you saw my wrist rocket slingshot, right?
No.
I got one of those, and I got
yes, I did actually.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking Bart Simpson out here.
So I got a bag of ball bearings. Let's make a wager, right? And let's do like a beer bottle, and let's be like, we'll take turns shooting, and first one to like break the bottle wins, or first one to break 3 bottles wins.
This is the type of content that you do on your channel.
I never done any kind of content except the podcast. I want to start making like funny videos like that. I think. I also have Mace. How about Loser Gets Mace?
Well, do you have like a logo? Like, do you have like a brand?
Yeah. Look at
that.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you need like, if this is gonna be your camera angle, man, like you need something like right here, like maybe like a neon light with the logo.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Custom fucking neons, man. They cost.
You're right.
Like
I'm trying to right now. I'm trying to get to stickers and T-shirts. Okay.
And I think you need 2 camera angles.
Yeah, you're right. And then
I think you need like just one on me, one on you, and then you edit it.
Yeah.
When like one's talking,
Dude, trust me. Everything you're telling me right now, I've thought of it. It's just it's the time, it's the resources, it's balancing out my fucking job. But now that I work from home, which is awesome, by the way, it's so sick. But now that I work from home, I'm like, I'm ready. Like, I'm taking up way less money to just get to work. Because when I got to work, like, I didn't realize how much I was spending on fucking, like, the gas, the parking tickets, the tolls, the lunches.
Driving to the city?
No, Brooklyn.
Oh, well, still.
But still, Brooklyn sucks. Like, finding parking, you're guaranteed a parking ticket at least, like,
For sure.
3-4 times a month.
Yeah.
You know, and it sucks. So it's like, now, I even told my boss that. Like, first of all, he tried to get me to move to Long Island. I straight up, flat out said, not happening. Second, he was like, then you got to go to Brooklyn. I was like, first of all, like, you're there now. You're not in Brooklyn anymore. So
anytime you go to Long Island, you're guaranteed to be stuck in traffic for 30 exits.
exactly.
Fuck that.
Yeah. It's not happening.
Once a month, I used to drive to Long Island, and I used to drive out to Oyster Bay, but we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll still do it. Maybe I won't.
Is it about a girl?
No, it's about the thing I told you in the car.
Oh, you told me a lot of things in the car. So.
Fuck it, I'll say on record. There's rats among us.
Right.
Rats.
Oh, that thing you're
So
talking
yeah,
about.
you know.
No. I don't think you should. No, I don't
with.
think you should talk about it on the mic because
I'm not.
that'll just get you sucked into it, and then they'll approach
Rats.
you, and then they'll approach you, and then you'll become one of them.
Junkie rats. They're out here. So be careful.
Look, I don't hate. I don't hate on the junkies. I more or less pity them. I feel bad for them because, like, understandably, they live really hard lives.
Man, they made their fucking choice.
You say that, but that's not the case. No one chose to live in fucking hyper-capitalist hellscapes. No one
dad
chose.
was a junkie, you know. Like,
No, you think he chose to fucking live in a hyper-capitalist hellscape where it's like, dude, we literally have always, like, as long as this country's existed, it's fucked up. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
How
man.
many excuses are these people gonna make until they're excused?
Well, I'm just saying you can't say like it's not hard. It's hard.
You got to break the mold, though. It is hard. It is fucking hard work.
Yeah.
But do you want to be junkie
Can I
or do
tell
you
you
want to be
something?
successful? You know,
I
that's
just
really
want you
what it
to
comes
be.
down
I just
to.
want you to be aware, and this is coming from. You got to trust that I mean this. This is coming from an American-born citizen. I was born on I was born on these lands. I was
Same.
born in the soil.
Okay.
Born in New York specifically, and even I can tell you, like. This country is like it's just a club more than anything. It's not like built on any kind of like cultural inheritance. It's literally built on a club, and that club is backed by like an economic system where people like me and you, the odds are naturally against us. So it's like that being said, our culture, if there is one, is defined by rugged individualism. Right? Mm-hmm. So we're hardwired as Americans to think, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't take no for an answer. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. But the problem is, maybe me and you can do that. Maybe me and you are the types of guys that can look at that and be like, yeah, they're right. And then we live that. And then we say, like, we fight against the odds. We say, you're gonna fuck with me, then I will beat you down, whatever the obstacle, right? What if we can do that? But you can't say every single American can do that. Not all of us.
No, definitely not. Because half the fucking 90% of the population isn't smart enough.
And it's not their fault. Like that's fucked up that we live in a system that's built to go against 90% of the populace. That's not okay. I don't think we should, even if we make it, even if we are that 10%, which we're probably not, but even if we were, it's still not okay. It's still not right that we live in a society where 90%, like have to get fucked. Like, I don't agree with that system, dude.
I don't agree with it either, but
what can we do?
Can we change it?
Yes, we can radicalize. We can be those fucking assholes. We can radicalize and be like, you know what? I wouldn't be above necessary acts of domestic terrorism if it means you guys will think twice about this hellscape. Or
all I'm saying is, like, fucking junkie like has options, man. They could get help and they choose not to.
It's a good point.
That's where I'm coming down to. You're taking it to a whole nother place where it doesn't need to go.
I'm sorry.
I agree with you.
You know what? You
are right.
Yeah. You sound like my dad. My dad told me straight up, like, a few weeks ago.
You're not wrong.
My dad, a few weeks ago, he was like, the one thing I love and hate about you, son, is that you always try to seek the broader perspective. And I thought it fucked with me a lot. I was like, fuck.
It is what it is. Like, here's an example. Well, it's not really an example. It really has actually nothing to do with it. Kind of boozed up, but there's a guy that goes around to jobs. He gets a job and he sues them intentionally. America's landed a lawsuit, so these people, they could go get a job at Amazon, fuck around in the warehouse, see like the safety protocols is all fucked up,
but
and sue that and get fucking 40 grand and then live off that for a couple years.
But is that a good life, though?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's not what makes a good life.
Hell yeah, man. Fucking 40 grand like every couple of months. Why not?
Yeah. Well, I mean...
Or you get and obviously if it's a fucking trend... maybe fucking Amazon will just pay you to go to their fucking warehouses and like straighten this shit out so they don't get fucking sued every fucking time.
Well, here's the thing. I can't judge anyone really at the end of the day because
thinking about going to law school.
I think everyone has a very, very specific and separate and very unique, nuanced path that'll make them specifically happy. You can't think of it. You can't think like prescriptively about like one size fits all. You can't think of it like this one way will guarantee you happiness because it's going to be different for everyone. And that's the problem, first of all. Like, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent and say that maybe some people, the only thing that makes them happy is slitting innocent people's throats. You know, at some point, like, you have to accept, like, individualism also means that. It means as an individual, some people can choose the wrong thing, which is up to you to, like, put those people down or anyone responsible. But anyway.
Back in the 50s and 60s, those people have been fucking lobotomized.
But I'm saying, listen. Point being, like, it's very nuanced. You can't just say there's a one size fits all solution, and that's the problem with individualism is that you're gonna have inherent conflict. So that's also what I would like, apply as a mission statement to Terrorisk. As a podcast, as a brand, one of our key things, that I wrote down was that like we won't give you, the inherent meaning of life. We won't give you the answer. We'll just keep you occupied. We'll give you something to do, until you figure it out. We'll give you something to be entertained with until you figure it out for yourself. That's what I think Terrorisk should be about as a podcast. Everyone's got their own shit going on. Everyone's got their own shit to figure out what's going to really make them happy, preferably without hurting others. But until they figure it out, they got us. We could be like the stars of Purgatory,
That's fair.
That's a cool title. The Stars of Purgatory. That's what this
podcast.
Yeah,
like the brand should be Terrorist.
No, the name of this episode is going to be Stars of Purgatory.
Stars of Purgatory.
I mean, the name Terrorisk was it's kind of goofy.
I like it. No, it's cool.
It's edgy.
It looks cool. I like. You just need Just the neon light in the background. That's it.
Yo, it's because you're a sleazeball and you're just like, I want this place to look like a strip joint.
Not like a strip joint, but like for the podcast, I mean, it would look nice. Maybe some just like LEDs around somewhere.
I want to.
But we'll make this place look snazzy.
Yeah.
This is gonna be like the official like podcast room / living room.
Well, it's also my studio. This is where I make music.
It's where your cat chills. Got
What?
a cat tower in the studio.
Yeah. I do.
Fans can't see it. This shit is sick.
Oh no, I love this. So every time I do a podcast, like I could tell when I'm having a good time or not, depending on like how often I look at the recording clock. So like there'll be times when I would think it was like 3 hours, and I would look and say, oh, it's only been 15 minutes. There'll be times when I would think it was like 10 minutes, and it's been like
4
past an hour.
hours.
I thought it was only like 15 minutes. And I look and it's like 47 minutes.
So we're doing good.
That means I'm having a good time.
You're having a good time. You want to end it?
No. I do at least
joking.
every episode.
Joking.
Every episode has to be at least an hour. But you've been like super good at this, and
You're good at a lot of things.
Oh yeah,
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, a master of none.
Master of nothing.
Yo, it's the same as me, man. I'll cheers to that. Oh God, I want to go paintballing.
I want to tell your fans I'm the best roller on Staten Island. I'll challenge any motherfucker.
I could
to
roll
a
better
roll.
than you, dude.
You taught me how to roll, but dude, the last fucking blunt you rolled was fucking dog shit.
What?
Dog caca.
No, it wasn't.
Doodle caca.
No, it wasn't. I don't even remember rolling the last blunt with you.
Yeah, at my house, man. You rolled the fucking garbage fucking toothpick up, man. Like, I don't know if you were just broke and conserving weed, but like that shit was
Oh, fuck you, dude. If I had more weed, I would have rolled a better blunt.
We're gonna smoke some Jungle Boys, because I am a Jungle Boy.
Oh man, you're talking so much smack, like it's SmackDown, like it's WWF
Like it's
Thursday Night
WWF.
Smack. Wait,
I went to wrestling school. Did I tell you that?
yeah,
I did.
wrestling. You got
Funked out.
yo. If you really want to wrestle, you
I
gotta.
could have, but like you know what? I
No,
just
no.
had other things going
My
on in life, and I
advice
just,
for
like,
wrestlers, like if you really
I was
want to
too
wrestle,
new. Yeah.
get the fuck out of America. Go to
No, man. You know what the number one thing is? Like, if you got a dream, get the fuck out of your hometown. Like, leave. Because like, you won't
Unless
have
your
the-
dream is to be a Wall Street stockbroker, then you know.
Hey man, like whatever. Just get the fuck out of your hometown because like everything's so accessible here. You have everybody here. When you're out in the fucking wilderness by yourself, you're gonna work 20 times harder to survive.
You're so American, man. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Do it, man. Like you gotta. Like no one's else gonna fucking do this shit for you.
Yeah, I know. But you're only speaking of that as a person who's able to do that.
I'm also a hypocrite.
Not everyone's able to do that shit. You know, not everyone's able to like live on their own means, which is fucked up to me. But like, like. The more I run across people like that, the more like I feel myself growing judgmental, and I don't want to be a judgmental person. So like I have to pause it. I have to give space for people like that in my patients. I have to say like, you know, some people are pieces of shit. And I just got to give it to them. Like, you're a fucking idiot, and I can't say you're wrong. I'm just sorry we live in a world where you will never be happy. I'm just sorry we live in a world where you're just always going to suffer. You're always going to be used. You're always going to be the product of someone else's machinations, and you're just going to live a life of misery. And the fact that that's true for like 90% of the people, that depresses me. I'm sorry. Like, I don't believe in that. I think there's something seriously wrong with the world if that's the case.
Yeah. But you got to find joy in things.
Of course. Of course. But if your joy in things involves something as crass and just like it's just a product of what someone else devised as like something to control people, like, oh yeah, I just know that, yeah, sure, pornography is going to turn you all into like sexless fucking like idiot degenerate people, and I'm just still gonna push it on you because you become easier to control and manipulate when you're addicted to fucking porn and Oxycontin. You know, like,
next time you fucking watch porn,
I don't watch porn. I don't like
jerking
porn.
off, right? Stop yourself right before you fucking nut and just be like, this is a waste of 3 minutes. I could have done push-ups. That's it.
I mean,
right before you fucking bust,
right.
you're like, yo, this is actually just a waste of fucking time.
I think you're right, but it still sounds retarded.
It's not
as
progressive.
fuck.
You could do anything. You could have done anything else in that time.
You're
right.
right.
Done everything else in that time.
No,
you could have looked at the fucking wall, probably. It's basically the same thing.
You're 100% right. I agree with you. You're right. You're right, Justin. You're always right.
I'm not always right.
Oh, man. Yo.
It would still be a debt collection fucking phenomenon. I do fucking toot my own horn, though, a lot. Toot, motherfucker.
You know, you work in debt collection. My dad kind of worked in debt collection, too.
So I did both first party and third party collection. So the difference in, I was explaining this in the elevator, but so first party is like, let's say you get a loan from like Chase or just like a creditor, any type of creditor, and they physically call you and they have like a protocol they have to follow. They have to do the whole, this is an attempt to collect a debt spiel, yada, yada, yada. Third party collection is totally different. So third party collections is like, you buy the debt from whoever the original creditor was, and certain companies have their own protocols. I'm not going to speculate or say what my company's protocol is because I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me, but they come up with their own script and they have tactics of persuading people into calling. So basically, you scare someone, and when they're scared and riled up, they can't make decisions well. And if they think that that's their only option, they're going to go for that option. If you understand what I'm trying to explain without speculating too much or just...
Yeah, basically what you're telling me is the average person is a retard and they'll believe something that's told to them by a complete stranger.
I really shouldn't. Okay, I'm not going to go into it. So let's just not talk about my job for a little bit because I will go a little too far. So I'm not going to do that.
Understandable.
Just to save other people's jobs, you know?
Understandable.
But yeah, but there's been times where I've really thought about like suing like other jobs, like for wrongful termination and discrimination, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like in a lot of ways, America wouldn't be America without ephemerally legal ways to grift each other, you know, like as Americans. Like, you think my industry is any better? You think merchant cash advance is any better than debt collection? Debt collection at least has like a rational basis. It's like, you know, I'm selling someone else's debt to you, a company like you, and you could do whatever you want with it. You know, whereas merchant cash advance, it's like putting someone into further debt. It's like, you know, it's
well,
just,
these cash advance places, they have high interest rates. So basically, like, I used to do payday loans when I was doing the first party collection. So it was, the company doesn't exist anymore, so I'm just going to say it. It's called Direct Cash. Direct Cash was just like a payday loan service. We were licensed in 3 states. I'm not going to say the states, but we were licensed in those 3 states to collect debt. Because in New York, there is no payday loans. You can't really collect on it. So there was a sister company in Chicago. Now, when I was working there, I did sell loans for a little bit, but then it was a new company, so they were opening a collections department for a first-party collector.
yeah.
And they had a guy that was lined up for it. He joined the FDNY,
Nice.
Actually, it's a funny story if you got time, which I guess we do, right?
Yeah, always got that.
So I actually quit that job. This is actually the second time I quit. So the guys who own it, they opened a third-party collection office. They saved up all that money just to open up a funding company. Now they fund money, so now they're going to create debt that they can collect on for free, which is sick, which was a great idea.
It's a very solid,
But the only thing about it was I worked in both companies, so I worked both debt. And now that I'm in third party, again, I have to collect the debt that I worked a year and a half ago, which sucked. And like I came up with like tech strategies. I used to mass text like hundreds of thousands of people a day. And to a point, like after 90 days, we pass the statute of limitation, and then we have to sell our debt. So we didn't always report that though. So like if it was like 110 days, right before we sell, if you owe $1,000, I'll hit you with like, yo, $100, sell your account right now. A lot of people did it. A lot of people didn't. More people didn't. So now all the people who I offered $100 on their $1,000 account, I'm reworking them now a year and a half later. And there's no way these fucking people are going to pay. We have like 1,000 of this account and only 20 people paid. So it's just like, how many, like we have so many man hours and just cracking the phones, and like nobody's getting nothing right now. So like for me, the debt collection industry is a little slow. It'll pick up again during tax season. The holidays are always the worst. Every fucking debtor in the world's excuse is like, oh, you know, November, Thanksgiving, Christmas, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, bitch, I'll cancel your fucking November. I'll cancel your Christmas.
You know what I would call this? Like, you know how there's like white collar crime?
Oh, this is a big time scam.
No, I would call this like black collar crime. Like white collar crime takes place like on the executive levels.
I'll explain it.
No. Listen. What I'm talking about, black collar crime, is more of like, so white collar.
I'm gonna grab your grinder. Just keep going.
So I figure like white collar crime is something like, I don't know, something that happens on an executive level most of the time, like with cases of like fraudulent activity. Whereas black collar crime is the kind of shit where like white collar criminals would put on to poorer people. Like, let's say you're a bank, right? A major bank. Okay. And you have a lot of debt, and you don't want to deal with this debt firsthand. You don't want to have to like go and collect from these people. So you see this like company of degenerates come up to you as Chase Bank, and like they say, we'll take that debt off you. We'll give you X amount of money, and you give us those. Give us. It doesn't work like that. Give us the right to the debt
collection, like conventions that you can go to in Vegas, and like everybody like who's like in the debt game like trade with each other, and it's like fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, man. It's just like the next level. It's just like these motherfuckers are trading debt. Like they get good leads. Like, well, that's a bunch of creditors.
No, but that's nothing new. You know that whole market of like trading and selling debt. You do know that is what sank our economy in 2008, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Dude, do you remember that recession?
Of course I remember the recession, but I didn't know that was the cause of it.
Holy shit. Where have you been, dude? It was literally the crashing of the... You know how mortgages work?
No.
Are you serious?
I mean, like, I know how like you fucking get a lien on a house, you pay it off, that's the mortgage, no?
All right, so let's say you go to a bank. You want to buy a house, but you don't have the money for it. So you take out a mortgage. You put X amount of money down, and you owe this much. So here's what banks...
like 20 grand, 30 grand, right? Yeah, I get it.
But then you pay X amount a month to pay off the rest of the house.
I understand
like
that.
$300 to $1 million or some shit. Yeah, you
That's
understand
how mortgages work. Yeah,
and you do it with banks, right?
Yes.
So here's what banks did. Banks decided to start trading that debt. Banks decided, it's like, we have the right to this person's debt. This person owes us money. So we could sell our debt to other people. We could start selling it as subprime mortgages and trade subprime mortgages. So they created this whole market where not just banks were trading debt, but you had third-party real estate.
Or just third-party collectors.
Yeah, third-party collectors and stuff like that. But then what
it'll always be like a law company. It'll be like a fake law company, or like something like Schweiker and something, you know, like, and they'll be like, oh, you owe Chase.
But what happened was like you had these packages of like mortgages like built up, and people were trading on it like as if it were stocks or like any other security, securities that you could trade. So people were fucking like literally buying and trading other people's debt that were packaged in like mortgage packages and mortgages, like people's mortgages, like. But the problem was, like, the whole market was a bubble, and it was built up on fraudulent claims because it was built on this expectation that people were going to keep paying their loans, right? But there was a problem. So you realized people were taking out like very, very, very easily take outable loans, because like all these banks and third party lenders, they were all trying to give out mortgages at like whatever the case. They barely did background checks. They didn't give a fuck of whether or not you were going to pay them back, because the banks paid out. The bank, like if you were a third party, if
These people bought the debt from the bank for like pennies on the dollar.
Yeah. So if you, let's say you were a third party real estate broker, you didn't give a fuck if those people were going to pay it back, right? Because you were just thinking to yourself, as long as you get it, as long as you sign the papers and put yourself in this mortgage, you owe the banks, I get my commission, and then it's whatever. I don't give a shit. And that's what happened. That was the problem. So too many, basically the problem was twofold. Too many third party real estate brokers were making, we're just being fucking greedy and being very predatory and being very liar about it. They were basically pieces of shit. And then you had the banks who were not doing their due diligence and actually like securing these loans left and right. They were like, yeah, we don't give a fuck.
They don't care at all.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck.
They just want their fucking
We don't
money
give a
back.
fuck if you're a stripper in Miami. We're just gonna give you the fucking necessary
as long
300.
as you have like 3 pay stubs,
Yeah.
they don't give a fuck. Like as
Yeah,
long as
yeah.
they show that you have like steady income, they'll fucking lend you. They don't care.
Yeah.
Some of these places don't even check if you have bankruptcies.
Yeah, and people were trading on those securities like real rich people. So what happened was eventually it all went tits up. People were defaulting on loans. The value just started plummeting. Like nobody was able to secure their mortgages, and that's why like 60% of the American economy lost their fucking jobs in 2008, which was a scary time if you remember, right? I don't know if you remember, but that shit was that was depressing as fuck. Everybody was affected. My family, my friends' families, everybody. Tell me they weren't, you know? I mean, that's when like I think the true drug epidemic in Staten Island started around around like that range of like 2008ish, 2010 and forward. Like it's because like all the families started coming apart once the money dried up. Like people were losing their jobs in Staten Island. The recession happened. People had to sell their companies, their homes. Families got broken up, and then everyone started doing drugs. And that's when the kids really started picking up on the drugs. Do you not remember? Staten Island wasn't always drug.
I do remember that. No, for a long time. Yeah, about like since like 05, I would say.
Yeah, but then 9/11 happened, and that's what kind of made it bad. But 2008 is what really kicked it into high gear, because 2008 is when it went from an age of like fear to an age of like self-destruction. Because 2008 was when the recession like really kicked off, and it hit Staten Islanders really hard. They all relied on that like shaky economy of like flipping mortgages and debt. Like that was just like the average Staten Islanders MO, you know? MO stands for modus operandi, in case you didn't know.
I was aware. I was.
See, I'll just keep talking while you roll. But yeah, aside from that, I think 2008 was like the time Staten Island really went down in the shitter, because that was a time when everybody was losing their job. Everyone from like the sleazy ass fucking business owner to the honest to God, like, you know, hardworking American, yeah, everyone. And the whole that whole crisis happened because banks and a bunch of other fucking sleazeballs got really greedy with people's high hopes. You know, telling some stripper in Miami, it's like, yeah, you could own a house right now. You don't got to have the money for it. You could just
some little clout demon in Miami.
Yeah, you could just make these monthly payments.
Man, do you follow Hoodville on fucking Instagram?
No.
Got to. Shout out to Hoodville. I know he's already fucking famous, but that account does not miss. It's a great account. It's great. I can't explain it. Maybe off air we'll look at some stuff and we'll laugh at it, but
yeah. Speaking of off the air, we're already past our time.
Really? That's it?
Yeah, we got enough content.
Let's keep it going, dude.
All right, fine. We could go for a little while.
Let's go a little bit longer, man. Like I had actually tell me a story. Come on, let's reminisce. There was a time. How about this story? Remember the time it was me, you, Brendan. It was like Mike. We were in. Where the hell were we? We were all the way by like Father Capodanno, by like Brendan's old house, right?
Yeah.
I had like a 1/4 ounce on my fucking pants.
Oh, and we got
Remember
stopped by the
this
cops.
fucking story?
And Mike had a fucking mohawk.
Yo,
and
so
then he went into the construction.
Let's start
the
all from the
fucking
beginning.
bulldozer.
This fucking guy, right? So all you see is like this flamingo mohawk just flying through the back of this like guy's house, and he's like doing like construction. He had like a bulldozer. We're drunk and high. We're probably like at most 16, maybe,
Yeah,
right?
15, 16.
All right, so I had like a quarter ounce. And to me, and back in the time, that was kind of a lot of weed. Not really, but you know, I'm 16, I'm scared, right? So they fucking pat us down, man. And they didn't find the weed, but they're like, yo, tell me if you have fucking weed on you. Tell me if you have fucking weed on you. And they're like, oh, you don't got weed on you, right? And they pull out a little fucking empty dime bag that might have had like a smidge of shake in it.
And you're like, that's not mine.
No, I said it wasn't. I was like, oh, come on, I smoked that like hours ago. I forgot it was even in my pocket.
Oh.
I thought they found the stash in my pants.
Yeah. They found a little bit of
a
weed.
Fucking dime bag, and they scared the shit out of me. And then Brendan had his diabetic needles, and they looked like he was shooting up, man. Like, that's fucking sick.
That's so funny,
I used to be in that Yuki trade.
Yo, because Brendan still be doing the diabetic needle thing. Yo,
yeah, man.
That's so good. Yo, you got to do an episode with Brendan, because Brendan...
I'm sure like, he would love all that.
Oh, that's so good. I remember that. That was so fucking...
You only do like an hour and 15?
No, I just do an hour every time.
Come on, special occasion.
I don't care.
The debut.
No, dude. I don't mind. I don't mind. Like,
we didn't even smoke the real Jeter yet.
Dude, I don't even give a shit, man. Like, we could go as long as you fucking want. Honestly, the more content, the better. It's just, you know, I've been doing this for a while. We're like 25 episodes deep now, so I'm just like, it's like.
There's no point to go longer than an hour.
No, it's not that. It's just like I'm just so used to people like, oh, I got shit to do after this, and I'm like, okay, but
man, people will find the time.
All right,
find the time. Do it at work.
No, I mean, the longer the episode, the better. The way I see it,
if you're a bus driver, you better be watching this podcast. I don't care.
No, since this is like once a week, I figure that the longer we go, the more content people could stretch it. Because usually, maybe their commute takes like 15 minutes. They could listen
Look
to
Joe Rogan, man. He goes for like 3 hours. And people like, what if you're like a stock boy at a supermarket? You've got your headphones on.
I don't like Joe Rogan as a podcaster. I like him as a human being. I think he's awesome as a human being.
Have you ever done this podcast on mushrooms?
That would never work. I couldn't operate.
Are you kidding me?
It takes a lot to operate. Like,
no, it does not.
Yes,
Look
it does.
we're just still here to talk.
There's
like,
mechanisms.
If you set everything up properly, like how you just did, and then we just fucking shroomed out hard and look at the funniest fucking screen we ever saw in our life, we'd be looking at the funniest cat tower we ever saw in our lives. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yo, you're the one that gave me such good advice like this. You were like, if you're good at something, why would you do it for free? The longer we go after an hour, the more we're doing something for free. They only expect an hour.
Well, they get more. It's my episode.
Yeah, it is your episode. You got to do more with me, man.
I will.
Good.
This was cool.
Also, I think you should get into stand-up. Let me write some of your jokes.
I could. Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to duck this out because the podcast doesn't deserve to watch us smoke Jungle Boys.
I want to smoke that.
But I want to smoke the real Jeter for the fans because I already showed them the fake and the real one. So I might as well smoke that.
This is a nice roll.
See, I told you, man. That's not even like that's like my top 10 worst rolls. I did it just like on the
top 10 worst rolls, bro. Yo,
I count them.
You're putting your elbow in the lighter and all that shit. Your elbow has weed caked all over it.
Sick, man.
There you go.
Look at that little salt bay, little weed bay for you. I'm ducking this out, like I said. We'll smoke that later. I want to smoke the real one because I really want you to see like the difference. All right, so you smoked that fake one, right?
Yeah.
This pink one,
yeah.
is watermelon Skittles.
Okay.
Now, usually I'm not a big fan of artificial watermelon. But these are fucking good. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it or learn to love it. That's it. Those are your options. And tell your girl that next time too.
I don't have a girl.
You're gonna like it or learn to love it. That's consensual, right?
You were the first person who I ever heard say that. You were like, No, I heard a lot of people say, but you're the first one that goes, my N-word,
No, also a new thing I do right now. Like, so I have
a new thing I do right now.
I have a lot of girls in my office, right? And they'll be talking about nasty shit. Sometimes they're all hoes, bro. Like, a lot of them are all hoes anyway. But, you know, like, they're cool people. Doesn't matter. You could be a hoe and still be cool, right?
They ain't the hottest on the block, but they're
they're fucking slamming. Some of these girls are slamming. Shit. Some of them look like heifers. You know, but it's cool, man. Like, so they talk about random shit. Now, like, there's one girl was like saying that she had like swamp tits, right? And I was like, that's my
swamp tits.
Now I'll just hear like something gross. I'm like, Don't say.
Yo, my favorite will always be when you were like, You just off the cuff was like, yeah, that's just infinite doo-doo butter. And then Mike's mom was like, infinite doo-doo butter. Nice, Justin.
I needed to understand that.
You're like, that's just infinite doo-doo butter.
Yo,
because Anne needed
my
to.
brain don't work like others.
Anne needed to understand that. She was like, who the fuck just says infinite doo-doo?
I used to call her cat Mr. Sphincter. And she's like, don't call my cat an asshole. She was very upset about it.
Sphincter. Is that cat still alive?
No.
Oh.
R.I.P. Mr. Sphincter.
How'd he die?
Natural causes. I was going to say something fucked up. I was going to go dark, but...
Is there another cat there?
No. Oh my God, it tastes amazing.
Nice weed. Definitely a sativa.
No, it's an indica, man. Look.
I hate the indica. I like sativa.
I'm an indica guy, man.
I like sativa. I like the crazy vortex of psychedelic goodness.
Then why don't we do mushrooms on the podcast?
I'll do mushrooms.
Mushrooms on the podcast.
I'll do mushrooms with you. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to work the podcast machine.
That's fine. We'll just fucking cut it. No, you'll be able to work it.
Yo, I taste the watermelon.
I'm telling you, man. This
Yeah. I see why
you're gonna cough on this. The other one's like you didn't really cough that hard on these.
Cough. Yo, Justin, can you ride a bike?
Yes. Who can't?
Sick. Maybe I could build you a bike.
What kind of question is that? I'm fucking a heterosexual male in fucking my 30s.
Yeah,
who doesn't know how to fucking ride a bike?
You cannot not ride a bike if you're not a heterosexual man.
Duh.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Those glasses are cool, man. I was rocking those shits for a while. I have a red jacket that goes with them. And I was fucking all redded out. Fucking stunning.
Oh, hells yeah. No, I like my sunglasses.
I fucking dig that Komodo bed.
Okay. I'll get you one.
Have you wore the Komodo on the podcast before?
Yeah.
Just sucked his teeth, right? I thought I was special. I thought he broke it out for me.
No, I mean it's I've worn this out a lot. Like it's just it's part of my summer attire.
You need to get more, man. You can't just be wearing the same.
You're right.
Every podcast, you can't wear the same Komodo. Even if you just buy it for the podcast and return.
They're really cheap.
Leave the tag
Amazon.
on the inside and just man. Go to Chinatown, man. Just leave the tag on the inside.
No. I get them off Amazon. They're super cheap and super cool.
You heard it here, folks. He gets the cheap shit.
I do. There's no expensive shit like this. Like they don't make like this is just.
Sure, Versace makes a fucking Versace
no,
Komodo.
Versace just doesn't have that kind of imagination.
Balenciaga fucking got a.
You know what? In about if I ever become famous and started
Fendi,
wearing,
silk.
if I became famous and started wearing these, I guarantee you'll see these pop up for like $300.
I bet.
Cause I just wear these because these are cheap. They look cool. You know, it's like they're just shirt kimonos. You know, I'm just like yeah.
Yes. You ever just walk around butt naked in your Komodo?
Yeah, I could do that if I wore this. I would look mad styling, you know, like these are widely undiscovered. Who have you seen wear these fucking like cheap ass kimono shirts? You know, like they're cool. I like it.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's mid.
I'll get you one. I'll get you one. You'll be converted.
You're
gonna be like, this is such flowy swag. Like I like it. I see why. Chris /
I
AK.
need a silk one though, man. Yours looks like kind.
You want a real one like this, but they don't make them. Like real kimonos are much.
Somebody will
cut.
make them.
Real kimonos are different.
Name one thing in this world that's not negotiable outside death and taxes.
Nothing, but you have to find like if you find that person, hit me up. Let me.
Everybody knows a guy. We talked about this. already.
Yeah.
Everybody knows a guy who knows a guy.
If you find that guy, let me know that guy. Anyway.
I think that'll do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I felt the energy already.
Yeah.
You want to call it quits.
Good shit, man. Thank you.
Explosion.
All right.
One more time. Bang.